Hi, this is Mr. V, and in this video we're going to learn how to use the converse of Pythagoras' theorem to figure out if a triangle is right-angled or not. So here is Pythagoras' theorem as we know it, which of course says that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, or the square of the two side lengths of the triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. Now the important point here is that Pythagoras' theorem really only works if the triangle is a right angle. So we can use the reverse of Pythagoras' theorem, or the converse. So if we find that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is a right angle triangle. And if they're not the same, then it is not a right angle triangle. So let's see if we can't use that to figure out if a triangle is right angled or not. So let's look at our first example here. We're given a diagram with three side lengths. We have this length, which is 6 meters. We have this length, which is 8 meters. And we have this side, which is definitely the longest side, which is 10 meters. Let me do that side in a different color. Let's make it red. All right. So the longest side is going to be our hypotenuse, C. And so the other two sides will be A and B. The order doesn't matter. We can make either which. And so we want to start by calculating what a squared plus b squared actually is. So a is 6 and b is 8. So that's the same as 6 squared plus 8 squared. And I'll use my calculator here. 6 squared is 36 plus 8 squared, which is 64. And 36 plus 64 is 100. So a second step now is to figure out what c squared is. So c squared is equal to 10 squared, and 10 squared is 100. So therefore, because 100 is equal to 100, the triangle is in fact a right-angled triangle. So because Pythagoras' theorem works here, okay, a squared is equal to c squared, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, this triangle does in fact have a right angle. Let's look at this second example. So this time, we're not given a diagram, we're just given the sides. And we have a triangle with sides 5, 12, and 14. So we're going to have to draw that triangle ourselves first. And we will just go ahead and draw it as if it is a right angle triangle. And we'll just see whether it works. So we're going to have a triangle with sides 5, 12, and the longest side is 14. And obviously the longest side is C, and then A and B. So we can do our calculations. A squared plus B squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared, straight from my diagram. 5 squared is 25, plus 12 squared is 144, and 25 plus 144 is 169. And so we want to check if that's the same as 14 squared. So c squared is 14 squared, and 14 squared is 196. And here's a problem, because 169 definitely isn't 196. So a squared plus b squared is not equal to c squared. So therefore, the triangle is not a right angle. And that's it. That's how we can figure out whether a triangle is right angled, like this first example, or if it isn't, like this second example.